So today I thought I'd switch things up a little bit and answer some of the most common questions I get, whether it's just talking to people, my family or whatever, or comments on the channel on different videos or emails that I've received. So I'm going to go through a few questions here and just answer them. So the first question I have is, do you eat organ meats? I personally do not eat any organ meats. I just eat mostly steak, like ribeye, sirloin, New York strip, that kind of thing. Um, Ground beef, um, chicken, shrimp, occasionally crab legs, eggs, bacon, sometimes some different pork. Sometimes like a pork butt or something I'll smoke on the pellet grill that I have. Um, but just, those types of things, right? There's really no meat organ meat at all that is in there. And yeah, I guess I should say I'll eat salmon too. I didn't mention that one, but that's another one that I eat. But yeah, there's pretty much no organ meats that I'm eating. I don't seem to be deficient in anything that I would get from the organ meats that I'm not getting from what I'm currently eating. So yeah, that's how it's been working for me. All right, the next question: do you take any supplements? And yes, I do, but not a lot. Um, so first of all, I take magnesium and potassium, and let me explain that a little bit. Before carnivore, I was diagnosed with AFib, atrial fibrillation, and that is where the signals going to your heart get mixed up, and you'll go into like a fast rhythm beat, and then it'll go back to normal, and then fast rhythm, and so forth. And that's considered like an AFib episode. Um, So that started with me back in 2018, and I think it was around 2018 or 2019 that my cardiologist put me on a prescription for a potassium pill and then had me get over the counter magnesium. At the time, my blood work, they were a little bit on the lower end of good, so there was potential that I was a bit deficient there. So I started taking a magnesium and a potassium every day. And even though I'm on carnivore now, I still do that. My levels for magnesium and potassium have been pretty much where they should be. And I didn't see any reason to stop taking that. Um, a lot of times when someone goes carnivore, they run into issues with having their electrolytes balanced, and it's usually has to do with magnesium, potassium, and sodium. And so a lot of people will take different electrolyte drink mixes or stuff like that. I've never done that because of the magnesium and potassium pill. And then for sodium, I use Redmond's Real Salt. Um, Comes from an ancient sea, and it's basically sea salt, and it's very pure salt. And I use that to season my steaks and burgers if I'm making like ground beef into a burger or something like that, or whatever it is, eggs, whatever. So I'm doing a pretty good job of getting my sodium, magnesium, and potassium from that. So I haven't been using any kind of electrolyte stuff. Um, but again, that kind of explains the whole magnesium and potassium in terms of supplements. The only other supplements that I take would come from a company called Cerule, and I do take their Stem Enhance Ultra, which helps to helps your body to release adult stem cells faster, quicker, and this helps with recovery and stuff like that. At least for me, it does. And I've been taking that for a while. And then there is a another supplement from them called Plasma Flow, which helps with the your blood flow in your body, and then there's a Cyactive that helps with inflammation in your joints and stuff like that, right? And those two are rather new. I just started taking the other one, the Stem Enhance Ultra, I've been taking for a while, but those two I just recently started taking. So I don't have any, um, results that I can really say like, yes, it's done this for me or that. But the Stem Enhance Ultra has definitely been good for me. And I've noticed not getting sore and so forth, like after working out and whatever, quicker recovery time. And I've also noticed my hair on top of my head and in the mustache and beard area here grows back in quicker since I started taking that. So those are some of the things I've noticed from that. And those are really all the supplements that I take. So the next question, what do you eat when traveling? So this is a good question because I am going to be traveling soon. You're going out of town in a couple of days, and I'll be out of town for about a week. Um, I'll actually be in the Smoky Mountains and gonna do some hiking and stuff like that with the family and different activities there. So traveling though, going there, right? For me, it's a rather long drive. It's pretty much a good, I think it's around 10 hours or so, 9, 10 hours of a drive for me. Um, I, the best thing for me is probably to get one meal for that particular day, and it would be at some point in traveling, right? Now, it's hard if you go to a restaurant to get enough in one meal. And, I'm looking at pretty much trying to get meat. I'm trying to get meat that's cooked decently, like in butter or whatever. And I don't want the side dishes, the carbs and stuff like that. So that makes it a little bit challenging. So something that I think I'm going to do this time around at least is I will see maybe if I can get like, we go somewhere, I'll get like a couple burgers without the bun and condiments and stuff like that. And then have some homemade beef jerky that I'm going to bring with me that I can also use to help fill me up in that meal. And that's my plan for the traveling part. And then when we're actually out of town, when we're at the Smoky Mountains, I will probably try to do a lot of meals at the cabin that I will make for myself. I know I'm going to be with my family, so it's going to be interesting. There's going to be, times that we're going to go out to eat, and I'll have to figure out, am I going to eat something? Maybe I'll have something really small as like a second meal for the day, or just avoid and not eat at all that particular time. So I'll have to see how that goes. And I'm sure when I get back from that vacation, I'll have some good experiences to talk about here on the channel and how I tackled this particular situation or that particular situation. All right. Question number 4 here. This is the last question I was going to go over. Can you share how you found the carnivore diet? Okay. So, um, I had lost a decent amount of weight back in 2017, but then I gained it back fairly quickly. And that was probably the best I ever did with losing weight. Typically, I'll try and lose some weight. I'll lose a few pounds and then I gain it back. In that particular case, I lost like about 100 pounds in around, I think it was 6 to 8 months or so. But it wasn't a very sustainable diet, and I started to gain the weight back after that. And for the last few years, been, you know, looking a little bit at that diet a few times and thinking, God, I just can't do that because it's just not sustainable for me. And then thinking, okay, what can I do? Um, when I finally decided that I needed to do something and something that would work for me, I knew some people that had done keto, and they got some good positive results out of it. So I started doing some research on keto, and I started to go into keto a little bit. This was back like mid-April of 2022. And at that time, I'd found Dr. Ken Berry and watched a lot of his videos. And then I started going more into the carnivore side of things and researching carnivore. Uh, Professor Bart Kay, Dr. Sean Baker, Dr. Anthony Chafee, all those people were very influential for me in deciding to go carnivore. I did a lot of research there, and I decided that that was the way to go, that that was the proper human diet, and that that's what I should do. So after about 2 to 2.5 months of doing keto, I switched over to carnivore, and I have been carnivore now for a year doing carnivore. And early on, I will say that I watched some of the other people that were doing carnivore that were starting their YouTube channels up and were maybe just a little bit ahead of me, by a couple months or something. It would allow me to kind of see how they were doing with the carnivore diet, and that helped me with, um, my journey into carnivore and experiencing different things and so forth. And I hope that now, if there's somebody new watching my channel, they're going to do the same thing, right? They're going to look at some of my videos on some of my experiences, and that will help them with their journey into the carnivore diet. So those are the questions that I wanted to answer today. I hope you all have a good evening, good afternoon and evening. And don't forget to like this video if you really did like this video, and it helped you or inspired you. Go ahead and like it and share it on social media. And if you're not already subscribed, subscribe to the channel if you're interested in more content like this. When I get a lot of likes and subscribes from a video, it tells me that people, my audience, liked that type of content, and then I know that I can create more content like that one. And then if you didn't really like this video, don't like it, don't share it and so forth, and then I'll see that, and then I'll know that that's not the type of content that my audience wants to see.